Is Friday, December 1st. It is the first day of December, and my favorite time of the year is Christmas and the holidays. And I hope you guys are ready for a great show today. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders. Most important, it's dedicated to people like you who take the time and actually watch the show, whether you're watching it during lunchtime or whether you're watching it on the other 5 different social media outlets. You're watching us live on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page. We're on my personal page, the Mo Carrara page, Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn. We're on X, formerly Twitter. We're on YouTube and Ocean's Pit Facebook page, all at the same time. So I hope you guys are tuning in, folks. We are Monday through Friday, lunchtime fun, and I hope you guys are having an incredible day. I want to thank everybody for showing up last night to Donnie G's in Elmwood Park. Thank you, George and the staff. An incredible job. Also, Jerry Jams and Mikey D was very good. Great packed house for a Thursday night. Thank you, all the guys, Debbie and everybody else coming out, Mikey Cigar, Carl and Paula Doty. Thank you so much. And it was great seeing my mom there last night, too, so that was very cool. We got a great guest for you today, ladies and gentlemen. My good friend Jerry Maselli is going to be with us, folks. Been on school board for many, many years. He's in a lot of stuff, this guy. He was coach of Special Olympics team. He helped to build a school in Uganda. That is very interesting. And trained for the Ironman workout stuff. So he's got a lot of the stuff that he's got done. And you know what? That's why sometimes I like bringing people on, and as a segment called Someone You Should Know. Because this is a guy you should know. He's a down-to-earth guy, family guy. Works his butt off, and we're going to have him on very shortly to have a little fun. So, of course, yesterday you tuned in. My lovely wife, my co-host every Thursday, Laura Ocean, so that was a lot of fun. So a lot of good stuff. Tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg. It's an 8 o'clock hit with Double T, Tony Toto. And tomorrow, sold-out show in Champaign, Illinois, Shop with the Cops. That's right. Always back in the blue on that one, baby. Big mega events. Big Mike and Big John put this together. They do a lot of great fundraisers for mega events, and they do it every year for the cops. And we are proud to be part of backing the blue there with Shop with the Cops. Great. Special guests, Dan Hampton, Jim McMahon, Big the Dog, the Bounty Hunter, and, of course, Ocean's Rat Pack. That show is completely sold out. That's Saturday. So we're excited about that. Let's get right to our sponsors, and let's get this afternoon going, baby. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy a local, shop a local. Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville. Man, they got some great pay. Hey, guys, 30% off brand new Carhartt clothes, man. So make sure you go out and check them out. They got a lot of great things going. And make sure you get that snowblower tuned up, because it's the season, baby. They're going to waive the DNI, and they're going to charge you only $105 plus parts to snowblower. So you guys are ready to have it all ready for, hopefully we'll get those. I love folks. Take advantage of the auto key programming at all their stores. They program card cut keys at up to 50% loss dealership, and visit the Helpful Hub to speak to a certified team member. Also, folks, don't forget to check out their holiday displays, lights, blow-ups, yard decor, and much, much more. That's Ace is the place. You got to love it, man. And they've been helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friends from Ace Hardware. Oh, my God. It's a little gloomy out there today, right? But, hey, it is a day. We're going to have some fun. All right, let's get some more sponsors, folks, before we bring up our guest. And we're talking about public relations, folks. When you are talking about public relations, any company out there, small, big, or large, independent, entertainers, actors, you need your name out there on TV, on radio, on newspapers. Bernie DeMayo Brothers.com is the place to go, my man. Good Bernie. And it's a great quote he sent me. Bill Gates once said, if it was down to my last marketing dollar, I'd spend it on public relations. That's wise words from a guy that's worth $1 billion. You got to love him, man. My good friend Bernie DeMayo and DeMayo Partners has been in the business for many, many years. Been my publicist for a lot of years, folks. He's worked with Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. He's worked with the Chicago White Sox. He's worked with the Phil Stefani Group and many more. Got many more awards. So you got to get out there and check out BernieDeMayo.com or give Bernie a call at 312-217-5658. DeMayo Partners, experience, creative, and smart. Tell Bernie Tony O sent you. And we're going to go right now. And so you got to love it, man, because I'm always saying about buy local, shop local. I also believe to also make sure that we all support our friends, which is very, very important. And that's what we love to do, man. That's what it's all about. And let's not forget our good friend, Mary. There she is. Buying or selling? In the Chicagoland area, that's Mary Grievous, a perfect real estate professional. Whether you're putting your home on the market or looking for your dream home, give her a call today. Right there, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Stark Real Estate. Go to M. Grievous at starkre.com or give Mary a call at 630-688-1725. Tell her Tony O sent you. Support, support, support. And let's not forget our good friends from Sunny Acres. It's the season. Get out there, folks. Sunny Acres. Come celebrate the holidays at the big, bright trail of lights at Sunny Acres Farm, where there'll be millions of dazzling lights, a sparkling walking trail with fun stops along the way, while featuring a larger-than-life holiday displays set to your favorite holiday tunes. Be sure to come in and bring your kids on the weekends to see Santa Claus. Check out the website and reserve your tickets and time slots at sunnyacres.com. That's Sunny with an O. That's nice, so you gotta love them, man. And the address is 29 West 310 North Avenue, West Chicago, Illinois, 60185. Give them a call, 630-231-3859. Tell them Tony O sent ya. Oh, man, I'm telling you, I just love when we have supporting local establishments. Well, like I say, buy local, shop local. It's all important, and that's what it's all about. All right, guys, let's see who's watching today before we get on some other stuff. All right, Ryan Lewis, how you doing? Robert the General Provenzano, Dave Antonelli. Yeah, you missed Thursday night last night, Dave. Lilia, how you doing, honey? Hope you're doing well. Leonard Marcelli from Florida is in the house. Santa Barbara, California. We got Iowa. We got Michigan in the house. Ogaboji, Iowa. How you doing, boy? Kathy, how you doing from Nashville, Tennessee? What's shaking? Elvis, my buddy Ronnie B. How you doing, pal? Mike, Hardcore Italians are in the house. Looking forward to our trip for Italian Heritage Night. Blackhawks next Sunday. I'm excited. We get that free. You get the hat, the Italian Heritage hat. We're going to go see a Blackhawk game with my good friends, some hardcore. Mikey and Joey Spins. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lake Geneva's in the house. Kathy, how you doing, honey? Scott Hall. Scott, tell Jerry he said hello. So we're going to do that once we bring him on. Tina, how you doing? Mary's watching. How you doing, guys? Hey, 32 more days to the Chicago Music Cruise. And I don't understand why you guys won't book this cruise. It's fantastic. We are at the sellout point, folks. Richie was nice enough to give us a couple extra rooms so you guys can get that last chance to join us, the Chicago Music Cruise 2024, January 7th through January 14th. Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. I got to make sure I keep saying that right. Anyway, we're going to start off in Florida, Coco Key, Bahamas. We're going to be in St. Martin and Puerto Rico. It's going to be Tony Ocean and the main event band, my other rock band, Mojo's Jukebox, and the ringleaders themselves, the man that put it all together, my pal Richie Ofer and Seventh Heaven, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. So, you still interested? Bring your girlfriend, bring your husband, bring your family. Great Christmas to start. A great way to start the new year. Go to ntdvacations.com. Ask for Mary over there. Tell them Tony O sent you. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so Sicily. So Leonard, you're going to be in Sicily January time up there. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time, Ronnie B. I'm excited. Hey, guys. Hey, we got Miami in the house. Alan, how are you doing? Alan and Lena from Miami, Florida in the house. Welcome to Ocean Spit. All right, let's get to bring up our guest, folks. My good friend, let's bring him on. No further ado, Jerry Maselli. Jerry, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Tony. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. Well, thanks for being on. Listen, Jerry, look, you're a man who wears a lot of hats, and we've you. I thank you for supporting the show. I do appreciate that very much, and I know we did a party for you a couple years back at your home, and I appreciate that, folks. But it's nice to have you on. How you feeling, pal?
I'm feeling great. And first of all, I want to say thanks. And second of all, it was really good seeing you at the one man act with Chaz Palminteri with the Bronx Tale.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
my favorite movie. I went and saw the play, and when I coached football, I would tell every kid before homecoming they were going on that date. I said, "You got to do the key test," and so many generations of kids have watched that movie because I tell them, and then I start getting older, and they start saying, "Hey, coach, we have remote controls now." I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you do that. You mean, and don't give them the Mario test either. Don't let them know that
no,
one.
no Mario test. No.
But one line that came out of that movie that I say on my show all the time, and what Robert De Niro said to the kid Cologio at the time, said, the worst thing in life is talent. And I think everybody has a talent of some sort. You know, people think it's just a musician or what you call. No, I mean, no matter what you do, you're good at. That's your talent. Every individual in this world has some sort of talent. Some maybe haven't discovered it yet, especially the younger generation. But when you're out there, we're doing it. So I think that's very, very important, man. I think it is.
I totally agree, and it's funny that you mentioned that because just the other day, first of all, I think everybody has a gift, and they have to find out what their gift is and then pursue it. But the other day in the wrestling room, we had morning practice at 5:30, and then we had lifting after school, and the guys weren't lifting really well. So afterwards, I pulled them all in, and we have a lot of talent in our room. And I just told the kids, I was like, "Hey, the worst thing in life is wasted talent." And today we wasted it. We didn't get it, what we needed to get out of that workout. And I told them where that was
It's
from.
very, very.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
kind of
mean,
fun.
some people like. Yeah, I mean, I know people that can sing, but they're like afraid to sing in front of people, or they don't have it. You got to get out and try it, man. And remember, guys, if you fall, you fall. Look, and everybody's going to fall. It's just how you get yourself back up, which is the most important part. Let's start where you're for the beginning, Jerry Maselli. Where were you born, Jerry?
Hey, I was born in Schiller Park, went to East Lyden High School, right close to your neighborhood, and very humble beginnings. My mom is 95, going to be 95, doesn't speaks Italian and English, came to this country, didn't speak any English. I found out about 8 years ago, I didn't know my mom and dad's marriage was arranged. Come from a big family, everybody lived in those little bungalow houses in Schiller Park, and you either had a flamingo in the front yard, meant you were Polish, or you had the Virgin Mary in the bathtub in the backyard, meant you were Italian. And, life was pretty simple. Everybody looked out for each other, and I couldn't have asked for a better neighborhood, high school to go to. Like you said something about Scott Hall, went to the same high school, great guy. So I was fortunate, and I was the youngest of a big family.
Big family. So you all got along. What was a day like with the Italian family? What's a regular day like? What was it?
Well,
Put it this way. What was a Saturday like with the Maselli family growing up?
Well, the age range is, so my brother Frank is the oldest, and there's 8 of us in between, or I'm the youngest. And so my brother Frank's like 14 years older than me. So growing up, he was in Vietnam, and he was a fireman in Franklin Park. But a typical Saturday could be anything, because my dad worked nights, and it was kind of, he would sleep in, and Saturdays everybody was doing everything, but everybody looked out for each other. And my mom didn't drive until today; she hasn't driven a car. But no, it was just, I thought our family was the crazy family. Then I found out everybody's family was crazy.
They're all crazy. And you know what's funny? It's funny, Jerry. We have a lot of similarities. My mom doesn't drive, like I said, and speaks Italian and English, just like you said. And my first marriage was arranged. My first marriage was arranged. We knew kind of this is what it was going to be. So, and back then it happened, Jerry. It happened all the time, especially in Italian neighborhoods.
Yeah, my mom, I didn't realize it until my sister Joanne told me. She said my Aunt Philomena wanted to get my mom to the range of marriage because she wanted Philomena and my aunt, not my aunt, my other aunt. They both were arranged because it was right after World War II. It was they've seen a lot of things. I got a lot of stories about that, but
I can imagine on that. We also want to say hello to Tennessee. Paul and Francine from Tennessee is in the house today. How you guys are doing? Well, all right, Jerry, Italian family. Do you guys speak to each other in Italian?
You know what? My brother Frank speaks it very well, but I'm the youngest, and it was kind of not encouraged a little bit when I was growing up because my mom went to school at night. She wanted to learn English. It was really important, and I understand it and everything. But we don't speak like we should. And it's funny now that I'm retired from teaching after 35 years. I'm really trying to get involved in the Italian American Civic Committee. Ron Onesti, who I think is a stand-up person. I've only met him a few times, and I talked to him a little bit at the bocce ball tournament. And I used to do bocce ball for the special.
Yeah, that was fun, huh? Hardcore Italians. We had a ball that, Jerry. I was so happy to do that. That was so much fun.
I'm getting a big team for next year. And one thing I want to say to you, you do a lot of charity stuff. I've been to a few things in Des Plaines and everything. And I think it's important that when people get up in the morning, they have a purpose and a reason to get up. And I also think we need to give back. And you are like one of the best entertainers because you do it all, but you also give back. You're always shooting stuff out for other people and their family if something's going on. And I tell you what, it doesn't go unnoticed. And that's just, I think you're a stand-up guy.
Thank you, my brother, Jerry. It's important, I believe that, man. I think if you guys can give something back, I do appreciate that very much. Hey, Jerry. Hi, Jerry, your favorite VH parent.
Oh, yeah.
Hardware. So to you, Jerry. God bless you. How cool is that?
That is a great family. I had 2 of the 3 kids in class, and Jackie chaperoned a camping trip for us because I take the kids climbing and caving. Wake up in the morning, she's sleeping in the car. She got the heater on, and a cup of coffee. Well, everybody else is freezing their butt off in their tent. We're her MJs. Yeah. Great. I
love that. Her Raffaello, the great people. Kathy, your sister, they're all coming on the cruise, so we're excited. It is fantastic. Well, like I said, I still speak to my mother every day in Italian. But I was growing up, just like I said, my dad was teaching me English. And my mother was, of course, I already spoke Italian. So, are you going to try to get your kids to try to learn a second language, Jared?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, my kids they went to Woodstock North High School. That's not unfortunate. It's a great high school, but they didn't offer Italian. And so both my sons speak German. And Joe,
cool.
one year we went to Italy, and because I want to go back to my mom's neighborhood and everything, my dad's. And we went home and we left Joe, and he took a train to Germany, met the foreign exchange student who lived with us, and he stayed there another week, and he speaks it very well.
Very cool. I think it's important that kids or anybody can learn 2 languages is a very big plus. Jackie said you guys had a great time camping. Listen, I love camping. So next time you guys go camping, you need me to carry anything, I'm there. You let me know, Jams. I'm there, Jerry.
Right. That was part of my class. We went climbing and caving, and we taught fly fishing.
I don't know about the climbing stuff, but I'll watch the fort. Anyway,
we ate like kings.
Yeah, we're kids. Listen, you got a big – wow. Let's start off with 35 years on the school board. In general, all the years that you've been doing it. Jerry, it had to drastically change from when you started to the way this crazy world is now. What do you see as the bad about now and the good? I mean, what do you think in your opinion? What's changed the most in the years as you being at the school board?
Okay, so I've been teaching for 35 years, but I've served on the school board for the last 12. And kind of like you, I always want to give back to my community. But things really have changed, and I don't know if it's for the better or for the good on some things. You had one guest on a while back, and she was talking about some stuff with the school. And, we get some mandates by the state or by the federal government that we have to listen to. Because serving on a school board, there's 7 of us, and the superintendent works for us. And I don't get paid, and I work for our community. I voice their opinion. And people email and tell me their opinion, with all this COVID stuff and everything. But it's crazy, some of the stuff that goes on. But I think the biggest thing is some really good things. I think kids are confused right now at this age. The middle school age, even high school, even elementary school. Some of these kids are really confused, and I think their parents are confused sometimes. And
Well, Jerry, I got that, and you've been a teacher, and which first of all, kudos to you in being a teacher. It's not an easy job, and I support the first responders, which are teachers.
yeah,
But it seems like these teachers these days are their hands tied. I mean,
yes,
I hate to say this. I remember my history teacher, bam, back of the head, and I'm telling you, man, I learned that class real fast.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Um,
why? Why you think what happened with the teachers? Why?
I think because our hands are definitely tied. But I think here's the one thing I really think about teaching, and I tell our young teachers this, and I've had student teachers and everything. Kids do not care how much you know. You could be the smartest teacher in the world, but as soon as that kid finds out that you care about them, they buy in. I had a kid in class one day. Two teachers said, "Don't take him because I have an elective class." They're like, "No, he's a jerk." Blah 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 blah. I took him. I found out what he was interested in. He was interested in bikes. He races BMX
Okay.
bikes. So I mentioned to him, I said, "Hey, I'm looking to buy a bike. I want a road bike." Made a personal connection with him. He comes in the next day, shows me these bikes. "Hey, you looking at Trek?" And I think once he knew I cared about him, I didn't have a problem with them all. I pulled him aside and told him what the teacher said to me. And I said, "You're a really great kid." And I think sometimes kids just need someone to listen. You got to make a personal connection with somebody. I think that's key in teaching. If the kids know that you don't care about them, they ain't gonna learn. They're not.
And you know what? And one thing is important. I mentioned a lot of times on this show too about social media. As much as important as social media is in certain things, I think it's destroyed these kids too. Correct?
Yeah, I at the end of I've been retired 2 years now, but at the very end, I would have kids who would have me in class because we didn't have class because of COVID, and then we got back the last semester. And
Yeah.
kids would have me in class and they wouldn't ask me a question, but they would leave and then they would email me. And I said, "No, you see me in person, you ask me. We're not hiding behind an email or a text." Our society's gotten a little weird like that. So I would just email them back and say, "See me in class tomorrow. You just had me 5 minutes ago." And sometimes kids think it's a little scared confrontational, like hiding behind a text. We're not doing them a service. We're doing them a misservice. Talk to people.
Jerry, it's true. I mean, even in texting in general, when you talk to somebody texting, you never know what the real feelings are in a text. You don't know if the guy's sick. "Oh, I can't go out with you guys tonight because I'm sick." I don't, So I think the texting, I understand it's there, but I also believe it's kind of hurt ourselves. You're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things. My guest Jerry Maselli. Let's go to another sponsor, folks. Yeah, you can't forget our sponsors. Our good buddies from Deutsch. Let's go back to Roy McCampbell, attorney at law. For you looking for a good lawyer, he is the man. Roy McCampbell. He is a statewide law practice that is clients focused and results driven. That's 708-275-4264. Let's not forget Sal from Deutsch Power Center right here, baby. Sal. Deutsch Power Center, servicing the construction and diesel industry in the Chicagoland area for the last 100 years. That's Deutsch Power Center, 224-276-6550. Let's not forget our good friends from Don Esteban Cigars. Hey, stocking stuffers, man, the holidays there. Javier from Tarpon Springs, Florida will hand roll the cigars, send them right to your home. Give him a call at 727-366-7566. Tony Ocean sent you, and Trico Hair Experts, recreating great hair days in Rosemont, 773-999-7888. That's Trico. You're watching Ocean's Pit, big things Monday through Friday, and my good buddy on with Jerry Maselli. Jerry, right now, when you were you retired, but when you were there, when you met with parents, what was that like? Look at the kid, and then you meet the parents, and then you say to yourself, "Now I understand why the kid is the way he is." Do you feel
Oh my
that?
God. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I still teach for Marengo part-time, little driver's ed.
Okay.
But
Uh-huh.
at parent teach conferences, it explained a lot of things. And sometimes the parent would leave and I'd be like, "Wow, this kid's not turning out that bad," you know. But this is one thing I really believe in. My whole life's been about kids, and I really believe this. So I did this. I call it the full value contract. Other people have used it. I stole it from a professor at Northeastern. At the beginning of my class, at the beginning of the school year, I would have the kids make up the rules for the class because it's their class. They buy into it.
Sure.
5 things. So 5, it's a full hand. And every finger represented something. Trust, be on time, whatever. But every day I met every student at the door and I shook their hand and I looked them in the eye. And by shaking my hand, they agreed to, do what the 5 rules were that they came up with. But every day I wanted a kid to get a hello. Because I don't know what's going on in their house. They could have gotten a fight in the morning before school. Something could have happened. So every morning I greet them with a handshake. I look them in the eye, and then on the way out we just fist out. Hey, nice job. But I think it's really important when it comes to kids, and when you talk to their parents, sometimes their parents are not involved and they don't know what the hell's going on. And
Jerry, how many would you say when you were met parents? How many how many kids had a mom and dads, or how many kids had like single families?
I would say at least 40% of the kids were divorced, and but some of the mom and dads would come together, divorced. Some wouldn't; they would schedule a different time. Usually, unfortunately, by second semester or the kids get older, their parents aren't going to teacher conferences. The parents, they want what we want. We want the best for their kid at the end of the day. And sometimes
do you see that? Do you see that with parents? Do they really want the care? Or is there parents that really don't give a shit?
No, there's parents who give a shit. They just don't have the tools or the time, or they're too messed up to be. Let's face it, some people shouldn't have kids, but it's not that they don't want it. They don't have the tools, or their life's a little messed up, or they're working too. There's some kids, especially my wrestling kids, socioeconomics, they weren't the most rich kids, and their parents were working, and they were working hard jobs. And, but some parents are just, I don't want to rip on parents, but at the end of the day, the parents want what's best for their kid. And sometimes they don't have the tools to do it. That's all.
Well, Jerry, you got a lot of good stuff going on. Tell me about it had to be an incredible feeling at the Special Olympics. How did you get involved with that? That had to be very cool. How did that all come about?
All right. So I was very fortunate. When I left Woodstock to take the teaching job or department chair job at Vernon Hills High School, it was a brand new school. So we started with, we called it Best Buddies in PE. We have special needs kids with non-special needs kids, and they would sign up and they would tell them, I got this guy, Andy Compton. I said, Andy, this is going to be your most rewarding class. Kids would tell them why they would want to be in a class, and they would work together. And then a parent approached, and they wanted to start Special Olympics. So I went to the superintendent, and we talked, and they just ate it up. So we have Vernon Hills and Libertyville together, D128, doing the Special Olympics. And Andy Compton, I was coaching football at the time. He took it over. I mean, he ran with it. And then after wrestling season in the spring, I helped him out, and I was in charge of bocce ball, soccer, and bowling. And man, our district is great. That district, D128, and you know what? I got more out of it than the kids did. I truly enjoyed it. In going down to ISU when they had the big event, you had to qualify for the state event. Our state troopers, they would raise money for them. The Knights of Columbus, and the kids, and now they have, it's called Unified. So now they have Special Olympics with kids who have special needs. They're playing on the same team with kids who don't have special needs. And that is awesome. And the competition.
Putting those kids together like that to show the camaraderie, I think that's fantastic. It's got to be a great feeling. I love kids too. Kids and dogs are my complete favorite, especially when they're young like that. When it's got to be a great feeling when you finish your day. And here you're always dealing with kids and teaching and stuff. I'm building a school in Uganda. Where did that come from?
So we had a principal, Dr. Ellen Swick. She got involved. There was a priest who was at the seminary in Mundelein, and he raised money. He was here in the United States. He raised money to make a well. And then one well led to two, led to three, and then they had like a little medical it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the bush. And I when I say that, I was there. So then what we decided was we raised the Cove raised a lot of money and built the school. And then every 2 years, 4 teachers and like 8 students would go there, and we would help them out and paint things and work things. And I'm telling you right now, I was never in Africa until then, and the stuff I saw, they were so grateful. These kids didn't even have shoes. I brought 2 suitcases full of gym shorts, socks, and shirts for the boys. Our home ec teacher made little dresses for all the girls out of pillows, and they put straps on them and a little fringe, and they thought it was Christmas. And every kid from 3rd grade on spoke English and wrote English. Now, the 1st graders, that was like herding kittens. But it was a ball, and our school is still involved in that, and that's our sister school. And I'm telling you right now, we pulled up on a little van. I saw 80 kids running towards us, and they're all singing. I felt like you. I felt like a rock star, you know? And I tell you what, it was life moving for me. And I see kids with no shoes on, and every night they're singing their prayers, and they're happy for what they have. So my wrestling team sponsored a child, and but here's the sad part. He comes from a family of like 7 kids, but only 1 can go to school.
Wow.
So they have to pick what kid's going to go to school. And
how do they pick? Any idea? How does that work?
The parents pick, and it's really tough. And it was really weird because I go out there, and every morning I would go out for a run, and it's dangerous out there in Uganda. It really is. And I would go out for my run, and I would see people working in a field with a hoe, but it was really weird because they had a cell phone, but they didn't. So they missed that revolution. They went from like a hoe to technology. They didn't have a lot of machinery or anything.
Wow.
But it was really education. Like we would go to someone's house that we sponsored their child, and we would take a video of their child saying, hey, and they were so grateful. They would give us like bananas, and that was a big gift. And one family gave us a chicken. If you say no, you insult them. And right.
That
was a big deal. A chicken, because all I ate there was masa and like rice. So I had to accept that chicken. It was live, and their chickens are lean and mean. They're not like here, big fat chickens. And so I tied up the legs and threw in the back of the van, and the kids in the high school want to name it. I'm like, we don't want to name this. So the next day, the kids said no, and I said, here's the reason why we don't name it, because that's what you're eating tonight. Yeah. So we ate the chicken.
Yeah, I'm sure that over went very well. You're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things. Our good buddy Jerry Miceli. Listen, don't forget Armando Supermarkets. Buy local, shop local, folks. 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, and Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair for all your collision auto repair needs. Mike and Gigi at crashchampions.com. Jerry Miceli. Now, it's crazy going back to some of the kids stuff and the new generation of kids. I mean, I hear stories about tampon dispensers in men's bathrooms, kitty litter, cat boxes, because kids want to be cats and dogs and dinosaurs and or whatever, pigs, whatever they want to be. The thing is, Jesus, what does a teacher say?
Yeah. Well,
where did this come from?
Well, the tampon thing was it was mandated to us because I'm on the school board. I'm like, let's use common sense. And why do we have? And I gotta watch myself a little bit. But I think most people on this show we're all like-minded a little bit. We have common sense.
No. Listen, there's nothing wrong with giving your opinion on something. It also depends on how you say it. So go ahead.
Right, and I think that's one thing our generation needs to learn. We're not all going to agree, but we need to respect everybody's opinion. And right. I think we're adults, and people should learn that. So it was a mandate that said you had to put tampons in the boys' bathrooms. Now, girls, they start 5th grade or 6th grade. So now they have it in boys' elementary bathrooms. And even at the boys' high school, I was in the high school and they had one. And I said something to the custodian. He goes, don't worry, they're empty. Because he has a little sign that says, see the nurse. because the kids will throw them down and flush them and clog up the toilets and everything. But that's not coming from a school board. That's coming from the state or the federal government. That's a mandate, and you have to abide by a mandate because we get funded by the state.
I understand all that, but where do the younger generation grow up and say, boy, being a cat might be fun today?
Hey, I'm as confused as you are. But you know what? Here's the deal, or how I think of it. We're talking about 0.05%, but we're not talking about we're focusing on, because I said something to my priest one day, and I thought he did a really good job on something. And I asked him his opinion. He goes, you know what? We're focusing on 0.05% when we should be focusing on the 99% of the people, And I looked at him. I said, "Thanks, Father."
That small little percentage is scaring the whole shit out of this whole world. I mean, it's just nuts and I understand it is what it is, and I don't care what a kid wants to do as he growing up, but let him grow up and be in some sort of. Don't let him grow up to decide something. Let him get in trouble. Let him break a window first. I mean, let him do before. I don't know. It's got to be horrible feeling. I mean, even for the. I don't know, man. It's just a scary thing. I don't know, and I feel sorry for the future of children. Jerry, what do you think the schools are going to be like 25 years from now?
Well, I hope they don't get away from in-person learning. I know higher education there's Zooms, there's online classes. When this COVID went down, my son was doing online classes. And I say, why the heck are we paying all this money for you to be at ISU? Because I'm a Redbird. And I said, you could be at home doing this. Or you could be he went to, both my sons go to junior college first. But I don't want them to get away from the in-person learning. I know at the higher levels, they do cohorts, and that's how I got my master's and everything like that. But man, kids need structure. They need to talk to a person. If they're struggling, they need to be able to have someone come up, put their hand on their shoulder and explain it to them, or have some peer teaching and how to socialize.
To socialize. And I remember that a couple of my friends, their kids were going to school and then COVID hit and they had to start doing it from home. And they were like A students. And when they went into the remote, they went down to like C students, or because they weren't paying attention and they weren't concentrating. They didn't have that connection with the teacher. And I think that's the same thing I believe with this working from home thing, where people don't actually get out and have social structure and meeting people from just sitting behind a computer all day long.
I totally agree. So when they started this online, when COVID came, and I had to find out what a Zoom is and everything. Yeah. One day I'm trying to teach a class. I'm trying to teach physical education on a Zoom. And I had heart rate, So I'm text this one kid's on the Zoom. I go, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I'm hungry. I'm driving to Five Guys Burgers. And I'm like, do me a favor. I get that you're hungry, you're in high school, but please pull over. You're going to crash the car. He's trying to Zoom me, have a hamburger, and I'm teaching a class. It was just crazy. It's just, I just
that's the way. My next question, March 20th, 2022, March 20th, 2020, all of a sudden you hear about something called COVID, or in our words, the flu, came around over here. Everything's going to be shut down. Jerry, what were you thinking? Now, first of all, number one, with your family, and second, your job and school, and what was going on in your head?
I couldn't believe it was happening. I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, I drink out of a hose. Nothing's going to kill me. But I didn't totally understand everything. I'm not a doctor. And, serving on the school board, I let them know that, I'm not a doctor. I'm not forcing you to do this and that. You do what's best for your family and your kid. But when it all came about, I was a little confused. I made it a point, Tone. I was very aware of a lot of people were losing jobs. There were some people I put money in an envelope, no name, and they were in the food industry. And I was fortunate. I knew whatever happened, I was getting my salary. And until today, these people don't know. I put a few $100s in some envelopes and I mailed it to them because I know they're in the food industry. But I also know you got to be I was fortunate because I knew the economics, but I also knew. So when they started the Zooms and online classes and everything, I drove into Vernon Hills every day and did my classes from school because I knew there were people losing jobs. And I I didn't want people saying, "Oh, these teachers are at home in their pajamas teaching and all this." I drove in every day, and also I was scared if I didn't know technology, there'd be someone to help me. But the school was empty. But I went.
Well, remember how many people also were teachers and nurses and people where they were forced to take a shot they didn't want to take, where they would lose their job. And then after they realized this shot was all crazy, then they called everybody back and said, "Hey, you want your job back? Really?"
Yeah. I know people. Well, one person who's kicked out of the military for refusing to take a shot, and I was really hesitant, and I didn't want to put a foreign substance in my body. I'm not the first guy to jump in line, but my mom at the time, well, now she's going to be 95. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to see my mom, there's no way I was going to compromise her health.
Sure.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
and I don't care if you took the shot or didn't take the shot, but I think as an educator, I was aware of trying to be respectful and aware of everybody's opinions. And I knew people were losing their jobs. So I went to work every day, except near the end, I wasn't going in on Wednesdays. I had the technology down. But I wanted taxpayers to see that, hey, these teachers are not on the beach, or most of them. I'm not talking city of Chicago. I'm talking about suburbs. We're not on the beach. But people work hard and people were losing jobs. So I was trying to say, hey, I'm here. It's the situation. Yeah.
Jerry, what do you think? What do you think the difference between suburban kids and city kids when it comes to schooling?
Well, the first thing is funding. 60% of your funding for students come from local property taxes. So if you live in a community that has a lot of industry, your schools are going to be funded a little bit better. The state only pays about 25%, and they depending on your I forget what it was called, your performance, you get more money if you're low or not. So I think the suburbs, like Elk Grove, probably has a lot of industry.
Yeah.
Your mayor really shakes a lot of trees and tries to get a lot of industry for you. Yeah. And he puts on some good concerts.
They do. Elk Grove is an incredible town, and the school district is very good. And Schaumburg is that way too. I'm in Elmwood Park. I'm only familiar with the towns that I know of. I'm not familiar with too much of anything, but I think it's got to be a little bit more linear in the city than in the suburbs.
So I don't want to rip on the city, but a couple things. It is a little bit more linear. It's my opinion, you're going to get your better teachers in the more influent high schools. You're going to get your AP teachers. You're going to get, I have some friends who teach in the city. The two places I wouldn't want to teach is the public Catholic school. Those poor teachers make no money. They can't even afford to support their family. So most of those teachers are second income. And I coach now, because I miss coaching, so I go down the block and I coach at Marion wrestling. But the city, it's tough to teach in the city, and those kids, they don't have all the suburbs are. We're a little bit more lucky, and the way they finance the city is different for the state. They're like their own little
just
country.
A little different all around. Jerry Maselli, our good friend Jerry, you're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things. You coach in wrestling. Now, they want to wrestle. Why do you think kids actually try to get? What do you get out of wrestling? They get frustrations. It's a sport. Does anybody ever want to try to become like in the WWF and that kind of stuff? Did they ever try that too? Because that's the wrestling that I love and I watch. But I know it starts in school. What is their admiration as these kids? What do they want to do with this wrestling?
Well, I know you're big with that. I think it's a one-on-one, and I talked to some of the kids because I played. I love football. I think it's the ultimate team sport, and I played at Illinois State. And believe me, I wasn't that good. I had to walk on, and I didn't play a lot. Until my senior, I played a little bit.
But you tried, but you made the team.
Well, you know what? The problem was I loved the game. I was sick. I loved practice. I was one of these sick people. I don't mind getting hit. and get up. Like, all right, this is all you got. Give it to me again. So
That's the Italian in you.
I'm a sick individual, but I love the game. And I think when it comes to team sports, and I think our kids, and I'm not saying wrestler, I'm kids in general.
Yeah.
I would use the term, but we're on public TV.
Sure.
We're soft now. We are really soft. And I think we need to have combative games. We need to toughen people up. And in the wrestling room, it's one-on-one. I told a kid the other day, he's first-time wrestler. He lost all 3 matches last week. And I put my arm around him and I said, hey, you think this is tough? I said, this is going to make life easier on you. I go, it's easy for someone to sit in the stands and make fun. Oh, look at him. He got his butt whooped. Yeah, come down here and try it. This kid's never done it. And by the end of the year, he's going to be good. So he's got some talent.
I think it's very important. It also shows some discipline. I agree with you. I think it's fantastic. Hey, speaking of discipline, training for the Ironman, how cool was that?
Yeah. You know what? I've been coaching people, and a typical day for me, Tone, when I was at Vernon Hills was I leave my house at 5:15 every morning because I had to drive an hour, and I really loved that school. And then I would, every day I would run at least 3 miles, depending if I had time, 6, but I would run and lift a little bit, shower, teach my day. I wouldn't get home until like 7 o'clock, 7:15, about to pass out, do it again. So I was cheating myself, and I missed competing. I wanted to do something for me. So the year of COVID, right before, I trained for a half, and they had a damn COVID. They canceled the race. So I made up my own little half triathlon. I parked my car at Lake Geneva. I did my swim, got out, hopped on my bike, pedaled to my house, had my course, did my run. And I learned a lot. I crashed. I didn't have enough nutrition in me. And I talked to people and, but then I signed up. I said, okay, I could do a half. And then I did a real half one the next year. And then I said, okay, before I hit 60, I'm doing a full. And I trained for 7 months, 6 days a week. I only missed one practice. And I was up because I want to go see the Tony Ocean show on Saturday.
Bless you, brother.
No, because Cheryl wants to go see Tony Ocean. She loves to dance. She's a free spirit. So I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go out, train for 6 hours, whatever it was, my bike followed by a run. But you have to be aware when you're with a family or anybody, you have to make your time that you don't lose with them. So I said, okay, I'll get up at 4:30 when it's dark out, and I'll start training, And there was days it was raining out, and I was, I wiped out on my bike, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? But race day, in the back of my mind, I'm stubborn. I am. It's the Dago in me. I am stubborn. Yeah. I am like, my kids were there. We're in Florida. I haven't really swam in an ocean. We've got to swim 2.5 miles, and it's kicking my ass. And I'm like, bullshit. Stop quitting and not finishing is not an option here. So put on your big boy shorts and let's do this thing. And but I knew I trained for 7 months, and I knew in the back of my mind, other than getting shot or me breaking my leg, I was finishing that thing under the time.
And that's discipline in doing that too. It's not an easy thing. I know, like my son Joey and my daughter Gianna, they go out in mornings and they work out every day. And the discipline that they have on that, not only if you want to lose weight or whatever it does for you inside your head, whatever it is, you're doing something and it makes them feel good. I wish I had that energy to do that drive, to do that's what's very important, I believe. You're watching Ocean Spit, little show about big things, goes real quick. It's birthday day today. Actress Ann Faris turns 47 years old. Denny Doherty from Mamas and the Papas celebrating a birthday. An incredible actor, Ed Harris, turns 73 years old today. Butch Mantell, speaking of WWF, turned 74 here today. Great rock and roll artist Ronnie Montrose, who used to be the band that Sammy Hagar was with. The great Billy Idol turned 68 years old. Baseball legend, football legend, Bo Jackson turns 61 years old today. If Carol Brandolino are watching, Bobby watching, happy birthday to Carol. Happy birthday to your mom, Maria. Happy birthday, Sam. You got to love it. Sarah Silverstein, the actress, comedian, 52 years old. The great female singer Bette Midler turned 77 years old today. Very, very cool, man. Um, I'm just trying to go down this list. Rob Grill, one of the great singers of the Grassroots, and my good buddy Tony Hunt. Anthony, happy birthday to your mom. You're watching Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. I want to say prayers to my good buddy. Prayers to my good buddy Johnny Maggio from the Ron Onesti organization. He had his hip went out, so he's feeling better. Get yourself home. Jerry, big sports guy, what's going on with your Chicago Bears, which is not really a listen, I've never been a fan.
I am.
Unfortunately, because I'm not a fan because their own organization don't give a shit if they win or lose. What's your opinion?
I'll tell you my opinion, but real quick, someone has asked you a couple times about the Pledge of Allegiance. They do say it in the public schools, but if you choose not to, you're supposed to be quiet. And I had a kid who wouldn't say it, and I stepped the kid out in the hall and I asked him real nice, "Hey, I was just wondering why you don't say the pledge." And the kid gave me the reason, and it was a real bogus reason. And I said, "You know what? This is why I stand for the pledge." And I think the kid needed to be educated. I said, "My brother served in Vietnam for this country, put his life on the line. For you to have these freedoms, that's why I stand for the pledge." And that was the end of it, because I didn't want to get my butt in too much trouble with my principal. He was a great guy.
Right. But
I did want to educate. It was my job to educate.
Get away from schools, though, right, Jerry? Are they trying to take it away from schools?
You know what? Not really. It's still in there. It's just it's a moment of silence to say the pledge, and if you choose not to say it, they're not going to force you.
So sometimes they don't even show it on the football games anymore. Sometimes on national television, don't even see it that much anymore.
Yeah,
I think they should.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah.
What about religion in school?
Well, you know what? I think we need to respect everybody's religions. You know,
right. I'm not saying you have to have the same religion, but I believe that you should be praying to somebody, right?
Well, you know, you can't force that unless you're going to the private school. You know, like there were some coaches who got in trouble and they took a knee and they said a prayer right before the game. And they were at a public school and someone was offended by it. And, you know, that person got slapped on the head and said, "Don't do it again." And it's sometimes I think it's ridiculous on some of the things that we talk about and people, you know, I personally, you know, I go to church on Sunday. Doesn't mean I'm a good Catholic. You know, I try to, you know, but
you're trying. I got what you're saying. Makes sense.
Every day.
And those are topics that you can't even talk about. I know we're not supposed to talk about religion. I know we're not supposed to talk about politics. I never really understood why we couldn't talk about this stuff. I mean, what's wrong with? I mean, sometimes we're just talking about stuff to one another. We don't have to agree with it. But whatever happened to, even like I use this as an example, and I repeat this over and over. Cubs, White Sox. What is the difference between arguing over the Cubs and White Sox over Democrat or Republican or Biden or Trump or whatever that? What is the difference when you argue over a Cadillac over a Lincoln? What is the difference? Why can't two people still, after they talk, it is what it is, instead of saying, hell with you, unfriend you, unblock you, I'll never come back to your house again. What's going on with this world?
I know. It's, you know, like people, like I was told some words I couldn't say, you know, like that you're not supposed to say now. You got to be sensitive. And one of the things was I teach driver's ed. And someone mentioned, well, you're not supposed to use the word blind spot. I'm like, are you kidding me? Indicator, mirror, blind spot. You know, and they said, well, visually impaired people might seem you're insensitive. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm bald, as you can tell. You can call me bald all day long. You know, that's great. You know, you're here people that on your commercial, I don't know if they can help me out. I would love for them to, but you know, I accept it. I want to be 6'4". I'm not. I'm 5'7". It is what it is. You're not insulting me. You know, so I think people are too sensitive. Jeez, you know, you just got, and I respect.
Jerry, what I don't understand, when did it all start? Because I don't remember this being 10 years ago. I don't think it was like that. I mean, you can't even say things anymore. And I mean, come on. I just don't understand the whole thing.
Yeah, you know, and I'll talk to kids about certain things. You know, about different opinions, or kids who are different religion, they educate me. I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I totally respect that.
Or even like growing up when kids go up to you and what grades were you when you were a teacher? What grades did you teach?
I started off my first six years at the middle school, and then I went up to the high school. Yeah.
Okay. And
The
and,
mid-
and even when you talk about sex education and people with kids in school and stuff like that and stuff that they're talking about, and then you hear these crazy story about teachers with the kids and all this crazy shit that's going on. I mean, how when someone young comes up to you now and you don't know, sometimes their parents don't help. I mean, sometimes teachers used to be a great role model
yeah.
or great for advice. Hey, teach, this happened to me down the street from the house. What do you think? You know what I mean? Do you still get questions like that when you were teaching?
Yeah, I did. And a couple things. I think we do have some teachers that need to be out of teaching. And if you're in a hiring process, you got to weed teachers, some people out. But I think majority teachers, 95% of them, 98% of them are fantastic. They're in it for the reason. But there are some, like any profession, there's some weird, messed up people. But I would always treat kids like they were my own sons and my own family. And I would tell them, and if I didn't have the answers, I say, hey, you need to, like a lot of times I had to talk to a guidance counselor, a social worker, and say, hey, this is out of my wheelhouse. You need to nonchalantly, without him knowing or her knowing, you need to pick this kid's brain and figure out what's going on. But legally, I'm legal and bounded. If I thought there's anything going on that was unsafe for a child, to report it. And believe me, if I ever make an error, it's going to be in favor of a child.
Yeah.
If I think anything's going on, believe me, there's times when I was younger, I want to go over there and kick a parent's butt for putting his hand on this kid the way he did. I grew up, when I had it coming, I got it coming, and I got it.
Oh yeah, me too. And
I
you know
got
what? When I got it coming, I deserved it. I deserved it when I got it. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Jerry, is it harder at the time to teach boy, girl? Was it harder?
I think boys are simple, and I have two boys, so I think it's simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes these kids, if they're talking to you, they're reaching out to you. One thing I'll say about women or girls, women are smarter than men.
Absolutely.
Women,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
women know and I tell the boys this all the time. I said, women know the answer. They just want someone to listen. That's all. You guys, we just want to fix everything. Women already know. They're smarter than we are.
Absolutely.
Guys, we have to be good listeners.
Yeah. That's true. Women are much smarter than we are. We are coming to the end of the hour, Jerry. Real fast, just give me quick on your Chicago Bears. What do you think?
Okay, it hurts me, but I love the Chicago Bears. I've been a fan of them forever.
But even though their owners don't give a shit about winning or losing,
tell me about it. It kills me. There's a player, Robert Tonyan, the tight end. He played for me. He was my quarterback.
That's pretty cool.
McHenry kid, really cool. But man, I love the Bears, and they kill me. I don't know why I watch them. This is my routine, Tone. I go to church, I come home, I make dinner, everybody comes over, we cook, and we watch the damn Bears. And then I'm frustrated the rest of the night. And
are they all Bears fans? Are they all Bears fans sitting at the house?
No, not all of them. I tell them be quiet.
So if they showed up, if I came over with a Giants jersey, I'd get in trouble, right?
No, you're welcome. Are you kidding me? It's all about food and camaraderie. But
that's what I think is important too. You're watching Ocean Spit Little Show about big things. Jerry Maselli, man. Jerry, thank you for being on the show, number one. Number two, being so honest with your feelings and everything that you talk about, especially in certain situations, certain topics now that you can't talk about that, which is completely crazy. But I'm hoping for the best. And the way the world is going right now, whether you're on this side or Trump or Biden or whoever's going to be, something has to be changed. Something has to change. And I don't know. I hope it's for the better. I hope, and what it's mostly important for is one thing that we've been talking about for the whole hour, and that's kids and the future. If things don't change, these kids are lost. They're lost. I mean, they're lost. I don't know if we're going to have Social Security, let alone these kids.
Yeah, well, exactly. Before I forget, Cheryl's a huge fan of yours. She loves dancing. She loves going to your shows.
Please tell Cheryl I said hello.
She loves
Absolutely.
dance. She danced with your mom in Elmwood Park.
Yeah, that was very, very cool. Thank you for that. Hey, man, you guys are fantastic. But don't go yet. We just got to say real quick, we want to thank you guys for watching the show, but we can't go out with saying, of course, Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local, Norwich, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, and Warrenville. They got some great specials going on for Christmas, folks. Let's not forget that. So download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. That's Ace is the place, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Our good friends, some Ace Hardware. Tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse, folks. 8 o'clock with Double T Tony Toto. Tomorrow, sold out show in Champaign with Ocean's Rat Pack. Shop with a Cop. I'm lucky. I've got to be hanging with the big dog, the bounty hunter again, Dan Hampton and Big Mike and the crew. Big shows coming up, folks. The Lyric Theater next Saturday, December 9th in Blue Island is sold out with Ocean's Rat Pack. Ocean's Rat Pack at the beautiful Carriage Greens on December 14th is sold out. Ocean's Rat Pack. Don't forget also, folks, New Year's Eve will be in Munster, Indiana, Center for Performing Arts with Ocean's Rat Pack. And my big 61st birthday bash on the 28th of December. Mojo's Jukebox, Tony Ocean, the Main Event Band, John Vincent, Regina Karma, Nixa Hodges will be performing. Also, Jim Cunningham from the new singer from Off Broadway and the Rob Post Band. It's going to be at the Fox Run Links, Golf Links in Elk Grove on the 28th. And we're going to be back Monday next week, folks, with more great guests. And Jerry Maselli, thank you so much for what you do, buddy. And we hope to get to see you soon, my brother. And listen, guys, remember a couple things. Buy local, shop local, support local establishments, live entertainment, and be kind to one another. We need it now more than ever, folks. And in the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. See how simple that is? Peace and love. And we're not all going to get along. If you got a beef out there with somebody, old beef, try to make peace. You might not get along again, but at least try to do something good every day. And it's not going to be easy because I'm learning every day. And don't forget Mama D's bread loaves. Very important, folks. Natalie's keeping up to tradition, folks. You got to check it out. Go to Natalie Bosch, her private message her or me. And guys, when we put the post out last time, we had a wrong email address. She's been getting a lot of people saying we can't get through to you. So make sure you go to NancyBBoys427@yahoo.com. That's NBOS427yahoo.com and get those bread loaves, many different flavors. Mama D's bread loaves, of course. And Natalie keeping their tradition alive, and some of the money that they make for those bread loaves are going to go to the Almost Home Foundation, where I volunteer every Tuesday for those dogs. You guys have been great so much. Have an incredible weekend, guys. Nixa Hodges, the piano man, take us out. Jerry, God bless you, brother. We got to go.
Time to go. It's the end of the show. See you later from Tony.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you, buddy.